Good evening, BBIG family. Well, it was another stressful day watching BBIG. Guys, these are days where you just need to turn off your computer and go outside or trade something else to entertain yourselves. Because if you sit there and watch BBIG all day, you're going to drive yourself mad because it just looks like a giant barcode. And guys, yes, we're down another 7.39% today, unfortunately. But interestingly enough, InvestorPlace is starting to take interest in us, or InvestorPlace, something like that. Anyways, I'm going to pull up the latest article, and then I want to go back and discuss the one that they put out prior to this weekend, because news is starting to get around, guys, that this company is very, very corrupt or manipulated, or something big is going on. And I'm not saying that BBIG itself is inside in this. I'm saying that Susquehanna, potentially, no one wants to get sued, allegedly, whatever you want to call it, is doing some crazy stuff, as we all have talked about recently in space calls and on social media. And guys, it appears to be getting from bad to worse. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't see the end in sight anytime soon unless something brings volume into our stock. Because on these low volume days, guys, it's very easy for them to use the dark pool, use large block orders to essentially barcode the price like they've been doing and manipulate it up or down in whatever way that they see fit. And I am working on putting out a video on dark pools. I'm probably not going to get to it tonight, but I have been doing the research on things that I want to make sure I include. I'm not sure how detailed I want to get in it, and that's another thing I'm struggling with, because I want to make it so that people understand it. But guys, this is just nuts, and I don't know when it's going to stop, so I don't want you to focus on it, because at this point there's truly nothing that we can do as retail investors. And as you've heard me say time and time again, if you are bullish on this stock and you see the upside like I do in it, then guys, take advantage of the opportunity to acquire shares while they're cheap. Please don't forget that many people started buying this stock $3, $4, $5, $7, $10, $12, guys. There's a huge upside potential when they finally do let this go. And let's be perfectly honest, there's not much more room to the downside. What I think is this week, the options chain is jacked. And I mean jacked as in gamma squeeze jacked. Even though they've depleted the value by so much, guys, it doesn't matter. If this thing starts running, then it could really explode to the upside. The whole thing is that we need big news to come in order to get this to get to that point where it's possible. And right now, I assure you that if it doesn't, they are going to do everything in their power to continue to keep it down, because they want those options to expire worthless, like they've been doing every single month, guys, and every single week on the weeklies. So if there's one takeaway from everything we've learned about Susquehanna, about what they are doing, about their disclosures that I mentioned in the video yesterday, that, it's nothing new, guys, to Susquehanna. And they have over 40 violations for doing the same exact stuff, guys. So what does that tell you? It tells me a few things. A, the SEC and FINRA are not doing their job, or incapable of doing their job, because to find these companies anywhere between, on average, $3,000 to $10,000 a whack, I saw a couple that were $50,000, $60,000, is absolutely disgusting to me. That is like slapping a 1 penny fine on them. Seriously, compared to the money that they make with the manipulation that they're doing. It's a joke, to say the least, and it's an insult to those it's affecting. Guys, I want you to think about how much money they've stolen from retail investors in these option chains that look to be going a certain way. It's not like you're not doing your DD on them, but their manipulative tactics, allegedly, are bringing them down and making them so that the options will not expire in the money. And they've been doing this, guys, for months and months and months. Occasionally we get a little bit of headway, but guys, 99.9% of the time we lose, right? So that tells me I'm never playing options on this ticker, not at the point that it's at right now. And it tells me that things I already know. The market is extremely corrupt and nobody seems to care because Gary Gensler is not doing his job. And bottom line, guys, is that retail needs to put up a stink. And I'm going to say this every single time that I talk because I need to drill it into your heads that if we do not do anything about it, it will continue. So unless all the masses get on board and decide that we're either going to have a peaceful protest where we actually go to Wall Street or the SEC or somewhere and all gather, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands of us, and peacefully explain our situation and protest that we have something done so that the media catches wind of this and starts addressing it. Because I don't even know what to do because Wall Street Custodian and I were talking today about possibly, forming some kind of a peaceful protest. But I'll be honest with you, my biggest fear is that it will not stay peaceful. And I have a real problem with that because I am not a violent person in any means and don't want to be associated with anything violent. So I'm curious if you could comment below if you're watching this. Please let me know how you think we can address this situation peacefully, because there's people out there like me in Wall Street that want to get stuff done and, want this to stop. And, there's a lot of people that I know feel the exact same way that we do and are frustrated and have had enough. And we need to find out a way to get our voices heard. But guys, to me, the most important thing is that it's not violent, okay? Because violence does not pay off in the end, and it's going to make us look like a bunch of idiots if that's the way it comes out. So please tell me what your thoughts are and what you think the best way for us to go about this is, because I'd like to hear it. I'm fed up, and I think action needs to be taken, and I am ready to get together with Wall Street Custodian and work on arranging something if we can do it peacefully. So anyways, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I've already talked for 7 minutes. Let's get into the article and why I think that things might be turning around for BBIG. Okay, guys, forgive me. Not sure what I called it earlier, but this article is from InvestorPlace, and it's titled, Low-Priced Vinco Ventures Stock Has Plenty of Room to Move. Down, but certainly not out, BBIG stock may be ripe for the picking. This is by Louis Nevillere, and he's on the InvestorPlace research staff. Vinco Ventures BBIG stock is trading near its all-time low. The company is a solid capital position and could offer a favorable risk-to-reward scenario for investors. Depending on your tolerance for volatility, a small allocation in BBIG stock may be appropriate. Diversified holding company Vinco Ventures BBIG hasn't been a darling on Wall Street lately. However, this means that BBIG stock is trading at a more attractive price point. This could be the right time to make an investment as Vinco Ventures is in a firm capital position. Due to the number of complications in 2022's first half, it wasn't easy for shareholders to stay in the trade with Vinco Ventures. Technology-related stocks certainly weren't in favor. Also, growth stocks took a backseat to older, value-centered names. On top of all that, BBIG stock was slapped with a meme stock label last year. This meme trade unraveled a while ago, but this doesn't mean that it's time to just give up on Vinco Ventures. Indeed, there's upside potential here as Vinco emerges as a strong digital media technology competitor. Guys, this is where it gets good. All right, what's happening with BBIG stock? Back in the meme stock heyday, BBIG stock briefly ran above $8. This euphoria wasn't meant to last. However, and the Vinco Ventures share price recently returned to around $1. We've seen this story before. Vinco shares traded at around $1 in late 2020. Soon they tripled in price. Bear in mind that this is a volatile stock that's susceptible to swift moves, and why it's not advisable to take a massive long position. Still, if you're willing to moderate your position size, then you can have an adventure with BBIG stock. There have been multiple 2 times and even 3 times share price moves over the past several years. Could another one be just up ahead? Anything's possible in the world of low price stocks, really. What's out for favor today could be the talk of the town in 2022's second half. Besides, Vinco Ventures is a fascinating and truly unique holding company. Vinco's brands run the gamut from Uber Mom and 911 Help Now to 4 Keep Roses and Best Party Concepts. The crown jewel. Perhaps the crown jewel among Vinco Venture holdings, however, is a Singapore-based video sharing social networking platform called Lomotive, aka Lomo. ZVV Media partners Vinco joint ventures with Zash Global Media and Entertainment, owns an 80% equity interest in Lomotive. When we describe Lomotive, it should sound very familiar. It allows its user to create their own music videos by selecting pictures and videos from the camera, mixing them up with music, and automatically transforming clips into music videos. In other words, Lomotive could be the next TikTok. Guys, there it is said. In other words, Lomotive could be the next TikTok. And we all know how successful that app has been. Turning to the financial side of the equation, Vinco Ventures has a couple of positive data points worth noting. First and foremost, the company's capital position appears to be firming up. At the end of last year, Vinco had cash and cash equivalent totaling around $87.6 million. Fast forward just 3 months later, and that total ramped up to approximately $130.8 million. Plus, there's another bullish phase to consider. During 2021's first quarter, Vinco Ventures generated roughly $2.2 million in revenue. However, the company demonstrated year-over-year growth in the first quarter of 2022, as the company took in revenue of around $3.8 million. What you can do now. Bulls and bears should both acknowledge that Vinco Ventures is a company like no other. Vinco subsidiary businesses are diversified, and each one is interesting in its own right. Of particular interest, though, is Lomotive, since it could capture a large young audience. Moreover, Vinco Ventures appears to be growing its revenue and capital position. In this light, BBIG stock can offer fast moves. Again, BBIG stock can offer fast moves for bold investors, as long as they're right-sized in their share position. Vinco Ventures currently scores a B on my portfolio grader. And then it just says that on the data publication, neither Louis Navellier nor the InvestorPlace research staff member primarily responsible for this article held either directly or indirectly any position in the securities mentioned in this article. Louis Navellier, who has been called one of the most important money managers of our time, has broken the silence in this shocking tell-all video, exposing one of the most shocking events in our country history and the one move every American needs to make today. And he says, pay attention to July 15th. All right, guys. So there you have it. Now, worth noting also is that BBIG, InvestorPlace also is the one that cracked the article pulled up right here about BBIG stock rises as Vinco cracks down on dark pools. Guys, in case you haven't seen this yet, I think it's worth reading. A lot of you may have already seen it. If you want to hear it again, great. If not, then feel free to exit. I thank you for watching and appreciate it. And I would really like it if on your way out you could hit the like and subscribe button so more people know what's going on. And if you want to stay, then let me just explain this because this is a wonderful article. So again, guys, this was also by InvestorPlace, but this was not by the previous writer. This one is by Josh Enomoto, who's a contributor to InvestorPlace. So, guys, this is like the best article I've read yet because this shows that our voice is getting heard. BBIG stock rises as Vinco cracks down on dark pools. A double dosing of opportunity potentially awaits for BBIG stock. Shares of digital media and content technology development from BBIG are up big on Thursday afternoon. Political rumblings against rival video sharing platform TikTok, owned by ByteDance, cynically favor BBIG stock. Vinco is also going after dark pool trading, which may hide conflicts of interest in other shenanigans. One of the more unorthodox companies in the equities market, digital media and content technology development firm Vinco Ventures, BBIG, occasionally makes serious noise, thereby drawing speculation to the opportunity. On Thursday, BBIG stock popped up around 7% in late afternoon trading after two potential catalysts: a geopolitical matter and a crackdown on potential conflicts of interest. There's the big one, the potential conflicts of interest, guys. Bolstered its market value. First, BBIG's main competitor, China's ByteDance, which developed the video sharing social networking service TikTok, attracted scrutiny on Capitol Hill when lawmakers on the Senate Intelligence Committee requested that the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, investigate the popular app. Specifically, Senators Mark Warner and Marco Rubio, the chair and ranking members of the committee, expressed concerns about how TikTok's parent, ByteDance, had repeatedly accessed U.S. users' data and therefore raises fresh doubts about the truthfulness of TikTok's congressional testimony on its privacy practices. According to a CNN business report, the controversy hits home for Americans as most of them have expressed substantial concerns about online privacy. Factor in this issue and you potentially have a situation where Washington could ban TikTok. Of course, such development would be cynically favored to BBIG stock as Vinco owns rival ride-sharing platform Lemotif. Still, that's not the only possible tailwind for the underlying company that has speculators excited. BBIG stock in the dark pool. On Reddit and other public forums, stakeholders of BBIG stock expressed anger at Susquehanna International Group and its conflict of interest that may have adversely affected BBIG. In one Reddit user's disclosed letter to Vinco's legal counsel, the document expressed dismay that Susquehanna acted as the primary designated market maker while also lending out BBIG shares for the purpose of shorting them. Guys, this is what we're talking about here. The fact that Susquehanna is the primary market maker for BBIG, and at the same time, they own a big stake in BBIG of shares that they are lending out for shorting. This is a problem. Not only that, but Susquehanna has been hit with multiple fines for basically pinging trades off each other with Susquehanna and Susquehanna's other company that they use, where they basically, guys, violate the trading system allegedly by, especially in the options chain, by basically pinging like the trades off. So when you see that barcoding pattern, it's because they're basically selling to each other, buying to each other, selling, buying, selling, buying. At least that's how I'm reading it, but I could be wrong. Let me know if you think I am, but that's what I saw according to the filings and according to their violations. This is nothing new, guys, and this is a major, major problem, and this is why I'm so upset, okay? So we need to do something. Bottom line, let's continue with this because I'm just going to get more enraged, and I don't want to get that way because I have to go get my daughter from the airport in a few minutes. Okay. As well, the letter went on to explain that Susquehanna is a major stakeholder of TikTok through equity ownership of ByteDance, and therefore such exposure represents a conflict of interest. Indeed, the Wall Street Journal noted in October 2020 that Susquehanna, a secretive firm that specializes in options trading, hit the jackpot with TikTok, as it owns about 15% of ByteDance. As well, information from Fintel's indicates Susquehanna engaged in significant option trading in BBIG stock throughout much of 2021 and until May of this year. Guys, again, Susquehanna has a major conflict of interest. Because why? Because they own a $15 million stake in ByteDance that is now worth $60 million because TikTok has become so successful. And yet, they are involved in BBIG. Now, guys, there's two ways of looking at this. Personally, my own personal opinion, no one wants to get sued. This is an opinion and not fact. Is that I think Susquehanna is taking both ends of the trade here. Meaning that they're loaning out their shares to short because they want the price to go lower and lower and lower so that they can just continue to gather up shares as cheap as possible, gaining ownership in the company because they know that TikTok could potentially be banned in the US, and if they can buy up BBIG real cheap, then guess what? They can hit another jackpot like they did with ByteDance. Think about it. I really want you to think about that because I think that their investment suited multiple purposes in that it's only a matter of time before they turn this around, especially with all of the news breaking on just how dangerous TikTok is. So wouldn't it be in their best interest to find a way to get out of their lovely agreement that they have with ByteDance, capitalize on it, cash out, and bring the rest of it over to run Lemotive up? Just saying. Think about that. Or run BBIG up, because that's, the Lemotive Zash partnership, guys. All right, now going on to this article. In a tweet through its Zash account, Vinco states, "We hear you loud and clear. Zash has recently engaged an investigative law firm to investigate dark pool activity with certain market makers and BBIG and Tide." Boom, chicka boom. We got them. Hear that? We hear you loud and clear. Zash has recently engaged an investigation law firm to investigate dark pool activity with certain market makers and BBIG Tide. Dark pools refer to private exchanges for trading securities that are not accessible by the investing public, according to Investopedia. One of the controversies for this shadowy platform, it is shady though, but shadowy platform is that it allowed institutional investors to place large trades without rumbling the market. However, this lack of transparency tempts and enables conflicts of interest and other illicit activities. Therefore, exposing light to the underground world could end up providing a fairer framework for BBIG stock. Investors should still tread carefully. Despite the positive implications behind the latest news cycle, prospective investors of BBIG stock should exercise extreme caution. Mainly, Vinco Ventures has proven to be a choppy and unreliable trade, making it only appropriate for risk-hardened market participants. Guys, if you're watching this by now, you're all risk-hardened because you've been to the lows, that's for sure. We all have. Second, no guarantee exists that a TikTok ban will materialize. Even if it does, Lemotive will face a mountain of competition. Ultimately, traders should keep a realistic view of BBIG stock. All right, guys. I think that there's a lot of bullish articles starting to come out. There's definitely a lot coming out talking about banning TikTok, and I firmly believe that it is a true possibility that TikTok could get banned. And I do believe that Lemotive is a great competitor. And even without TikTok being banned, guys, there's a lot of bullish things happening with Zash. And I think that it's only a matter of time before it starts getting bigger and bigger in the US, even if TikTok is still here. Because they've got a lot of great artists. And there was bullish news, again today. So, guys, I'm just holding tight and just thanking them for the opportunity they're giving us to accumulate these shares as cheap as they are, because they won't be this way forever. Thank you again for watching. And